What is good, YouTube? This your boy Aaron. It's Courtside View Podcast. We're back today for the NFL, and what we're gonna do is for the next few months, we're gonna talk about divisions. We're gonna look at the free agents for each team in their respective division. We're gonna see what they need to fill, maybe even draft picks they need to get. So we're gonna look at that for each division. And this week we're gonna look at the NFC East. I'm going to start off with the Eagles first. I feel like that's the easiest one to do. And just looking at the list, Josh Sweat is going to be a free agent. Brandon Graham, it seems like he's going to retire. Zach Bond, free agent. Mekhi Becton, free agent. Avonte Maddox, free agent. Milton Williams, LaRaven Clark, Rick LeVine, all these guys. Not really. Nick Gates, Paris Campbell, Warren Burks, Isaiah Rodgers, Ian Book, Kenneth Gainwell. So, yeah, those are the free agents. And what we're going to be doing is just looking to, first, who they need to re-sign and what holes are they going to need to fill. Do they need to go to the draft to fill them or just go back to free agency and try to fill them? So, with that being said, the big names, Zach Bond, Brandon Graham, Mekhi Becton, Kenneth Gainwell, and Nick Gates. So, where are you with this? What do the Eagles, who should they try to go after to re-sign? And who do you think, what position could they just fill in the draft?
I think you can fill O-line in the draft. Linebacker, this is a pretty solid linebacker draft.
Zach Bond was the middle linebacker?
He was the interior linebacker.
Interior linebacker? Because he wasn't the pass, he wasn't the edge rusher, was he?
No, heck no.
He was just a coverage guy, right?
Yeah, I think he was I think they call him the. What doesn't matter what position.
Was he the Mike?
The Mike varies depending on the play, so you can't really say. But he was the coverage back.
Yeah, he was coverage.
He was really good. They should try to re-sign him, but they should have. I don't think they have to pay anybody after this year, as far as I'm concerned. So they could possibly re-sign him. But I think the consensus is that he's probably going to be on the open market. But I think you can address linebacker and the O-line in the draft. Everything else, Avonte Maddox, Isaiah Rodgers, he's okay. You got the young guys to step up and take that position. So they don't really have to re-sign much. Yeah, they got some free agents, but it's not like maybe try to look at kicker. Jake Elliott had a shaky year. You maybe have a contingency plan in case he stinks it up. Other than that, they don't really have to do. But they can address all their holes in the draft for the most part.
Right. I think a Zach Bond, I wouldn't resign him because he's going to demand a lot of money.
That is true.
I know he was a defensive player of the year candidate, but he was. But
pro bag.
You look at Brandon Graham, he's going to be gone probably because it says his contract is void. I'm assuming that means he's going to retire or something like that. So, and Josh Sweat, he's going to be. He wasn't really good for them anyway, but he was making $10 million a year. He's going to be gone. So you're losing two edge rushers and you're losing a coverage linebacker. This is the perfect draft to get some more linebackers, I believe. So they can go after an edge. They can go after a coverage linebacker and they'll be fine. And then remember, Nakobe Dean, I don't know if he played in the Super Bowl.
He was hurt.
But he was hurt, so he can step up for you. He was playing well for them as well. So even without Nakobe Dean, they were playing good. So I believe they can just use Nakobe Dean, fill him in, and then bring in somebody via draft because there's so many great linebackers this draft, so many great edges this draft that you can plug and play them and they'll be just fine. They did that with, remember in 2022, after 2022, they couldn't re-sign some people. And they were able to draft Nolan Smith and Jalen Carter, and they were able to fill that void eventually, and they won the chip because of it. So I think draft is important. I would re-sign Mekhi Becton because
he shouldn't be too expensive.
I believe with this draft, the tackle position, I just don't think there's as many good tackles.
Becton plays guard now.
He plays guard. Why do they have him at right tackle?
But he plays guard. He plays right guard, I want to say.
I would re-sign him. I think this draft is not too offensive line heavy in terms of the talent compared to the edge rushers and the linebacker position. So that's how I would go with it. The corner position,
I think
they have Cooper DeJean. They already have 3 decent corners, so I wouldn't think too hard on the corner position. You could always go late in the draft, plug and play. Kenneth Gainwell, there's a lot of great running backs this draft, so I think you can find a good backup running back for Saquon Barkley. But if Kenneth Gainwell, he was making like a little bit less than $1 million. If he's not going to go for much, then you could resign Kenneth Gainwell. But for the most part, I think they'll be fine. I don't think they, like you mentioned, they don't really need to do much to fill certain positions. It's just about what positions do you value more, that you want to pay, that you want to draft. And I feel like Mekhi Becton, you can resign him. So, yeah, man, the Eagles doesn't seem like it's too difficult. They have all the important pieces already signed on rookie deals. So, all right, and then we have the Commanders. The Commanders is a different story because Bobby Wagner is he's a free agent. Marcus Mariota, backup QB. Dante Fowler.
Jeremy Chin.
Mm-hmm. Zach Ertz.
Yeah.
De'Ami Brown, Jameson Crowder, Benjamin St. He's trash. The
kicker and punter is free agents.
Yeah, they got some guys. That they need to see if they can resign. But I would say Zach Ertz. I would try to resign Zach Ertz. He was good for them. But Bobby Wagner's the number one for me. I know he's getting up there in age, but he had another all-pro season for them. And he was the quarterback of that defense. He was a leader for that team. I think it's very important. I know he's 35, but he's still playing great for his age. I think you have to resign him. That's just me. What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I'd resign Bobby Wagner. I'd resign Bobby Wagner, and let me see. Let me look at the rest of it.
Cornelius Lucas is also going to be a free agent.
That is true.
You might have to resign him too.
I probably would as well. He shouldn't be super expensive or anything either. Dante Fowler.
I mean, he did. Didn't he have like 10 sacks?
Yes, he had a kid. He's very good, but he does not set the edge to save his life. That's why he didn't play much versus the Eagles because they needed someone that can stop the run. He pretty much wasn't really a factor at all. I definitely resign Bobby Wagner, Cornelius Lucas. Maybe resign one of these receivers, like
De'Ami Brown
or Zacchaeus, one of them too, because they did come up pretty clutch in that playoff stretch and toward later in the season. So I signed at least one of them. But I definitely would address getting another receiver either via draft or free agency or even trading for one that's available. But also Tress Way, he's a phenomenal punter.
Yeah, I would keep him too.
Zane Gonzalez, he's expendable.
Yeah.
And also Cyber, he's a free agent too. Well, they're gonna have to figure out their kicking situation, but
yeah.
What
about Jeremy Chin? Think you can let him go?
I would try to bring him back. If he's going to ask for too much money, then you can let him walk. But if he wants like less than $5 million a year, I'd bring him back. Anything other than that, I'm probably like, he's expendable. He played good though for me. But yeah, it's just like honestly, I would try to move one of them D tackles.
Yeah, Jonathan Allen or Deron. I'll probably go Jonathan Allen and try to move him. Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. So in the draft, what would you say? I'm looking at wide receiver or I'm looking at a corner.
At 29, I'm not looking at receiver. Unless
really?
Mecca is there.
Well, that is true. They do have a late draft pick.
29, I'm expecting secondary to be there.
Yeah, secondary.
D tackle, line, interior line, but they shouldn't. I think their line is pretty. They don't really have to touch O line.
I think D tackle would be.
Yeah, D tackle.
Matter of fact, they need to get that trenches situated.
Yeah, the D tackle.
The guy from Ohio State.
The corners should be there.
Oh, the corners, yeah. But I think the most important thing they need to do is solidify the D line.
Honestly, at 29, you honestly probably would trade back. Unless there's some dude that's like we got to get this. I think I would honestly kind of trade back. Maybe get another third or a second round.
You
pick.
could try to get a corner in free agency. They got a couple corners. True. They have Byron Young, the guy from Minnesota. They have Byron Murphy. I keep using them because they're both Byron. They're both Byron. Byron Murphy and you have Travarius Ward. You got a couple of dudes you can go out there and get. You have a bunch of money.
That is true.
And you still have Marshawn Lattimore.
For
now. Hopefully he gets better, after what he did for those couple of games. But, yeah, I would say the guy, the D tackle from Ohio State, I like him a lot. I think draft him late in the first. If he's there, I wouldn't mind them going after him. They need to figure out a way to get that D-line to be able to stop the run because they just couldn't stop the run to save their life last year. So I would try to do that. And then in free agency, get some corners. That's how I would do it. Not necessarily draft a corner in the draft. It's not a great corner draft. I think last year was a little bit better in terms of corners. This year, they had the guy from Texas. They have the guy from, I forget. See, I can't remember.
What position you talking about?
The corner.
Oh, corner.
Guy from Texas.
Obviously, Will Johnson.
Obviously, Travis Hunter.
Ravel. His name is Ravel. I forgot what school he played. Is he Notre Dame? No. I don't know. I know Ravel is a dude that's been talked about a lot of cornerback talks. There's some other guys too, but I just got to watch more film. I haven't really got to corners just yet. I've been focused on like offensive side of the ball. So
I just think this year is more so
trenches. You
served to go trenches
and running back.
Running back. And then it's a great running back draft.
That's why I was saying I would trade back and try to get like a D tackle in a second, and if you could double up in a second and get a running back, that would be phenomenal. That's what I would try to do, but I'm not the GM here, so.
So, would you agree, corner in free agency?
Yes, you get there's
trenches in the draft.
Yeah,
and running back in the draft.
Yes.
Okay. And wide receiver in free agency.
That too.
Yeah. There you have it.
You could honestly, this is a pretty solid receiver class later into the draft. I got my eyes on Tiz Johnson. I need that on my team.
Tiz Johnson?
That man's separation statistics is crazy. And I love separation at wide receiver.
Yeah. You heard about that dude from TCU.
Savion Williams.
They called him the next Julio Jones.
It's funny because then I saw a tweet. Someone said, "Nah, I think he's more such," and he was like, "Oh, I agree." So what do you mean? Is he Julio Jones or is this other dude? This dude was talking about.
I don't know. Savion
Williams.
Savion Williams.
He's solid.
I was his quarterback on Road to Glory. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't catch contested footballs to save his life. I was like, all right, here we go. Got the jump on your man on the fade route. I throw it to him. You can't catch it. I'm like, damn. I'm like, can you catch one contested ball? Like, goddamn. Couldn't do it. I know it's the game, but it's just ironic.
That's insane.
It's like Julio Jones. He didn't look like Julio Jones in the game. I don't know who you're talking about.
He don't look like Julio Jones on tape either. I don't know what he looking at.
Anywho, so yeah, that's the Commanders, man. Let's move on to the we'll go to the Cowboys last. Let's go to the Giants.
The Giants need you.
Whew.
Everything.
Whew. All right, the Giants. So they're free agents: Darius Slayton, Isaiah Simmons, Drew Lock, Dory Jackson. Who else we got? I'm trying to think some names. Chris Hubbard, no. Greg Stroman,
Azeez Ojulari,
Tim Boyle,
Dory Jackson.
Yeah, Tommy DeVito. Well, I don't know if he's really a free agent. It's an ERFA. I'm assuming that's a restricted free agent. Deontay Johnson, Carter Coughlin, Jimmy Moore. Yeah, I don't know who these dudes are. Anywho, yeah, it's a bunch of names I've never heard of. Seems like a bunch of depth pieces, a bunch of guys that are borderline on the 53-man roster. So, Giants, what do they need to do in free agency and in the draft? I think
they need to address the QB position.
QB is number one. I believe they need to draft a quarterback.
Absolutely. And
they got a top 3 pick.
They do.
Okay, so they can draft a quarterback.
I heard someone say something about some Will Johnson. If you take Will Johnson top 3 and there's a quarterback on the board, someone needs to lose their job.
If they take Will Johnson over, let's just say Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter is on the board, somebody needs to be fired.
Yeah.
Shoot. If Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders are on the board, I'm taking them over Will Johnson. If I need a quarterback, that's absurd.
But yeah, they need a lot. They need a lot. This is going to take multiple drafts to address some of this, the whole they got on this team. Because good God, honestly, I might be in the business of trying to move Kayvon Thibodeau.
Me too. I agree. I think he's overrated.
He's going to need a contract coming. Probably going to win a contract after this year. And I'm just like, I'm not seeing what I really need to see. And we have Brian Burns under contract, so I'm not going to pay 2 edges top edge money.
I will say about the Giants that's underrated is their trenches when they're healthy.
Yes.
When they're healthy, they actually have some good trenches.
I agree.
The offensive line improved tremendously when they were healthy. It was until their starting left tackle got hurt. And then it
right guard is a free agent.
Yeah, the right guard is free agent. I think their trenches is rather decent.
Yeah.
It's just offensively, their quarterback is just horrible. They need to improve on the quarterback position. I would also say another receiver, definitely.
But there ain't no wide receiver free agency coming to New York, so you either going to have to trade or draft one.
What about the running back? Do you believe?
I like Tyrone Tracy.
I like him too.
But I would want to pair him up with another dude.
I think they do need to get another running back. I think I would go.
I mean, Singletary actually was solid, but he got hurt. But he's getting kind of old.
Yeah, I want a bruiser. I need a bruiser.
Mm.
Is Tyrone Tracy a bruiser?
He's more of a dual threat. Like he catches the ball a lot. He's strong. He's strong running between the tackles though. So he does a little bit of both. He's kind of like Quinshawn Judkins.
Okay.
Yeah. So he can't catch the ball out the backfield. He can also run between the tackles.
We need some explosiveness on this offense. We do
outside
Malik Neighbors, and we just need a quarterback. I'm drafting a quarterback to pair with Malik Neighbors. You need that young tandem. I'm not going after Matthew Stafford. That's just a short-term answer at best. Yeah. You need to solidify your long-term, man.
If you get into Matt Stafford, you're trying to win now.
Yeah,
this team
they're not ready.
Near ready.
No, they're not ready. So I would just draft a Shedeur or Cam Ward, build from there. You have a decent O-line. You can address
solid defensive trenches, and then go after that. Maybe get another running back. Free agency. What about free agency? What can they do in free agency? I think for a team like the Giants, they're free agents. They need to get like guys that are more depth type pieces.
So would you go to Commander's route?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. That makes sense.
Some vets in, some dudes that can play like they got decent linebackers in my opinion. Like Azeez Ojulari, he's going to be on the market. I'm not too sure how crucial he was to the team. I know he's a name, but I'm not sure what exactly if he will be truly missing. I'm some Giants fans have to tell me about that. Isaiah Simmons, I think they should have re-signed Isaiah Simmons. Because I feel like he's what they had him doing, he was pretty decent. Unless it was trying to stop the run. He wasn't stopping nothing on the run game. But other than that, I think he was decent. I feel like they got to just go get some more vets, some more depth pieces in free agency. I think that's the route they need to go. They shouldn't really be trying to acquire star players.
Right.
In my opinion.
They're still rebuilding.
Yeah. So that's how I go the Commanders route, like Commanders did last offseason, and get like the Frankie Louvu's, the Bobby Wagner's, the Dorrance Armstrongs, those type of dudes.
The Dante Fowler.
Yeah, those type of acquisitions.
Yeah, you're right.
And in the draft, you can address all like the skill positions and stuff, like corners, receivers.
Yeah, receiver, running back.
Yeah.
Quarterback.
Then you probably get some more secondary help because Deonte Banks, he's just not.
No, he's not good. He's not
very good. And Adoree Jackson, he wasn't very good, but he's leaving.
Yeah, he's leaving.
And Cordell Flott, he's player in the NFL. They need help. That secondary need major help.
Shit, man. All right, there you go with the Giants, man. Hey, pretty much they need everything in Jesus. That's what they need because they're a long ways away. But them trenches is pretty solid. All right, let's move on to the Cowboys, last team in the NFC East. All right, here we go. This is what you guys been waiting for. They've been in the news a lot.
Yes, they have.
All right, well, we don't need to worry about the quarterback because Dak is the quarterback.
Yes, whether you like it or not, number 4 is the QB.
And then we don't have to worry about number 1 receiver because we got CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb is a proven receiver, all-pro, league, fantasy league winner, I will say. So we don't have to worry about CeeDee Lamb. They do need another receiver.
Absolutely.
Need number 2. Zach Martin did retire. So that's a major hole that they're going to need to fill.
Yes, I agree.
You also, maybe another running back?
Absolutely another running back. You kidding me? Rico Dowdle, he's a free agent.
Rico Dowdle was a free agent. Oh, man. That's
and I'm pretty sure they'll try to bring him back.
DeMarcus Lawrence is a free agent.
He might be expendable. Unfortunately.
Eric Kendricks is a free agent.
Osa is a free agent.
Jordan Lewis is a free agent.
we got so many
Leval Joseph is a free agent.
We got some definitely some holes to fill.
Oza is a free agent.
Yeah,
oh man,
we already know. We fully expect to lose.
Carl Lawson's a free agent.
We need to bring him back.
Oh,
at
man.
least. Please,
y'all got a lot of free agents.
Yes, Chauncey's a free agent. Oh man, Chauncey was doing good. We need these dudes, man.
So the Cowboy fan himself, what they need to do, man? What
first
gotta
things
happen?
First. They can draft as good as they want. They could have a master class draft. If you do not attack free agency, you're not going to put yourself in the best position to win. You know, people say, oh, we need to pay Micah. We need to pay. I understand that. The Eagles figured it out. You figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Point blank, period. I don't care what kind of cap manipulation you got to do, front load, back load. I don't care what you got to do. Make sure you acquire talent in the free agency. Point blank, period. Whether it's trade, whether you sign the free agents, we need to fill these holes because these are dudes that was contributing heavily this past season. Like Jordan Lewis, we need to find a way to keep him on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Because Trey Diggs might not even play next year because he's hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And DeVon Bland, he's good, but that's only one corner.
Mm.
And I don't know what y'all got playing. Y'all got to attack free agency. Draft-wise, I'm a fan of a draft and skill position in the draft. I'm talking wide receiver, running backs, and also trenches. This is a great draft for D-line and trenches. I wouldn't be mad if we went D-line in the second round or something. But number 1, we need to get a bona fide dude. We need to get a weapon in the first round.
Ashton Genty,
Tech McMillan, Emeka Egbuka, even freaking Luther Burden. I don't know how you're going to utilize him because the way people describe his game is kind of like slot based, and CD can play out the slot, so we don't really need a bona fide
you need
slot
an outside
dude.
guy.
Yeah, for the most part. But I'm just focused on getting weapons and trenches in the draft and a running back. I wouldn't mind a running back. Running back would be phenomenal. But everything else, you're gonna have to figure that out on free agency. The linebackers, free agency. Corners, free agency. Yeah, pretty much. Edges. There's some edges you can get some edges on the market.
What about offensive linemen?
No, the good news is offensive line. Zach Martin's leaving, but Brock Hoffman stepped up and played really good in his absence because Zach Martin got hurt like midway through the season or something like that. And Brock Hoffman stepped up. The line was pretty solid, but Brock Hoffman is a free agent.
Okay,
but he shouldn't. He's going to be cheap. They should be able to re-sign him for like a bag of chips or something.
Okay,
like maybe $3 million a year or something like that. So I'm not too worried about the line. We could always draft line. I wouldn't be mad because you can never have too many old linemen in the NFL. But I feel like we have more pressing needs than just old line.
Mm.
So I wouldn't be against. I would definitely try to get some dudes in free agency for offensive line as well because you need depth.
So to summarize everything, you're saying free agency,
I'm gonna give you a tier list of
go right ahead.
Number one, I'm
for
going
free agency.
For free agency.
Yeah.
Number one free agency, I'm gonna go linebackers. Linebackers. I'm gonna go corner, edge, and linebacker, corner, edge, and O-line. For the draft, I'm going wide receiver.
Okay.
D tackle.
Okay.
Running back.
Okay.
And let me see anything else I'm missing here. Oh, Cooper Rush free agent.
Yeah.
And Trey Lance.
Yeah.
We gonna need another backup QB.
Draft them later in the draft.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. I'm going wide receiver, D tackle, and
running back.
Yeah.
Really? No edge?
I said edge for free agency.
I know.
I
mean, it's a heavy edge draft.
That is true.
You don't want to draft.
I wouldn't mind taking the edge in like a third round.
Because I don't see DeMarcus Lawrence getting re-signed by y'all.
I don't either.
Because he's going to demand a lot of money. He's older.
And he's hurt.
It's a heavy edge
He'll
draft.
probably end up on the Commanders or something. I don't know.
Y'all losing a bunch of edge guys. I would say you might want to go in the draft to get an edge in the second round, maybe.
Yeah, that is true.
So, just saying,
But we will be having dudes coming back from injury.
Okay.
Like Sam Williams,
and
stuff like that. So, granted, you got to have edge depth. But I say you could get those type of dudes, like plug and play guys in the free agency more than the draft. Like the draft, if you need a dude, you want to go to the draft. But if you don't, we have Micah. He's going to get re-signed. I don't care what nobody says. But if you have a Micah, you want to get like another. You need more plug and play guys. Because Mike, you could put all over through the D line.
I always thought from this because I'm a Packers guy. My thing is like we don't have any good edge rushers. We don't have any good. We can't generate pressure. I always wondered, like, in terms of generating pressure, like, do you need guys that are good at getting sacks, or can they just be good at generating pressure? And then you have like one guy that's a sack guy that can get to the quarterback. Is it just about having guys that can just generate enough pressure, and then you have that one dude, that generational guy, that Micah Parsons, that can just get to the quarterback? Is that enough? Or do you need multiple guys that are just good at getting sacks?
The way I see it, if you ask me who would I rather have, I would go for interior pressure 9 times out of 10 over edge pressure. You can scheme around edge pressure. You can put a tight end over there on the edge and just block them. But when you got to do like an Aaron Donald, a Jeffrey Simmons, a Dexter Lawrence, it's going to be a lot of one-on-ones. If you depending on how the scheme works on defense, but they're going to wreck the games in the run game and also in the pass game. Like edge rush, you could kind of like TJ Watt. TJ Watt goes missing all the time in the playoffs. Yeah. And he's one of the best edge rushers in the league. But it's just like interior pressure is just a different beast to deal with. Chris Jones always wrecks games in the playoffs.
Okay. Right.
And Aaron Donald, we already know Aaron Donald's a freaking monster.
Dog. That's why that guy from Michigan is going up so high.
It's Mason Graham.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind Mason Graham in the first. Don't be honest. I'd rather go offensive, but Mason Graham is a dude. But like I'm saying, but the way I see it, I would one solidified guy to get sacks, and then put across the D-line other solid dudes that know how to do their job. Like having TJ Watt makes a guy like Nick Herbig another better than probably what he actually is. But if you just have a guy like Trey Hendrickson, he's a phenomenal player, but no one else on that Bengals D-line was producing.
That's true. That is true.
So it really depends.
That's why the Eagles are so great.
Yeah,
so
Jalen Carter,
Jordan Davis, and they had Jalen Carter. Because remember, in 2022, they had a great defense, but they didn't have no Jalen Carter.
Exactly, because if you have an edge but weak D tackles, you can just step up in the pocket. But if you get interior pressure, you got to step back, and boom, guess who's coming to edges?
And then if you remember in 2023, when the Eagles defense wasn't all that good,
they had edge.
They had that pass rusher.
Hassan
Reddick was getting numbers, but
I wasn't on that Super Bowl team.
No, I'm the next year.
Oh, the next year.
Remember, they made Super Bowl, and then they drafted Jalen Carter, and rookie season rolls around.
I got it.
And he was he was in and out of the lineup a lot, but he wasn't really wrecking havoc like he did this past season.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
So seeing the difference, it made a huge difference in the outcome of the Chiefs game because Jalen Carter is just dominant in the interior.
Yes.
So I see what you're saying. You're absolutely right on that one. So yeah, man, I understand why you say D tackle.
Like look at the Vikings. The Vikings was able to get solid pressure and stuff, and they didn't really have like a bona fide. Like they lost to Neil Hunter in free agency.
Yeah.
So, but they still was able to produce.
Mm-hmm.
It's really just like scheme and like having no dudes knowing what they have to do, play every play.
I know you're sick about your guy, that D tackle that you guys drafted.
Mozzie, he played better this year.
I'll say
that. It's not enough, but he played better. Yeah. As long as we continue to see improvement.
Okay. Well, seems like a slow build.
Slow motion better than no motion.
Slow motion better than no motion.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
All right, well, that'll do it for our segment on the NFC East, what we think they need, free agents that they need to either acquire, that they need to re-sign, drafting as well. And we'll continue this conversation in later episodes.
The NFC North next week.
Yeah, or we got the combine. We'll get back to the segment later on different divisions. But I think next week they have the combine, so we're going to react to some of that, give our opinions on just some draft, just players in the draft that we like, that we have questions about. We're going to get to that, and then we'll get back to the conversation on a different division. So Stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, hit the notification bell. Check out our other playlist. We talk about different things. And also, check out our other channel, our NBA channel. We upload some stuff as well. Thank you guys for watching. Peace. Just let me be me.